Morning, everybody. How the heck are we? I thought I'd show some steps that I take doing a pattern for a belt. I'm waiting to hear back from my customer to get the approval on the brand. You know, basically he sent me something he scratched out on his camera, so I have to double check, make sure it's what he's looking for before I start putting it into the leather. So, oops, and I'm not over here where I'm supposed to be, am I? I'm sorry. Anyway, what I like to do is on an 1.5 inch belt, I'll leave a 1/4 inch for my stitch line and border and stuff like that. So that gives me 1 inch to work with, to fill in. And then I'll throw my, what some people call stickers, some people call vines. I don't even have a word for them, by golly. I'll just let you call them whatever you want to. I'll call them doodads. For the doodads here. And once I get them drawn on my paper, that's a poster board from Walmart right there. Then I'll come in and you see where I've shaded where the backgrounding is going to be, or bar grounding on in this case, so that I can get a mental picture of what it's going to be like. Now, my style of tooling's a little different than everybody else's. And that little half circle thing right there is where I'll pick up here again. So I've got everything I want on this piece of Mylar, or whatever they call it. So now what I'll do is go ahead and take it off my paper. Get that tape out of the way, simply because it'll stick to something I don't want it sticking to. Then I got a mess. So then I've got my properly cased leather over here. Oh man, and I shoulda went ahead while I'm waiting on the approval of this. I'm going to go ahead and draw it in, because make sure I get it right ways too there, David. Because I'll need to know where it's at, because it's going on the tip of the belt. So I don't want to start my floral pattern too early and then not leave enough room for the brand. I'm gonna let it bump into that flower right there. And I'm kind of probably not even letting y'all see, because my hand's probably in the way, but I'm afraid to move it. So there's that. So now, and I forgot a little spot right there, but that's okay. It's all straight line stuff, so I'm all right with that, by golly. So now I've got a good starting point. So I'll put that up there in, and I'll take my dividers and mark off my border I'll come back and do the stitch line later, but I'm gonna put that back here until I get some of this up here done. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna touch that brand until I check my messages and make sure it's what he's looking for. Because nobody wants to do a belt twice, and nobody sure enough wants to have to make, you know, someone mad because when you do get their belt done, it's not right. First time I've ever done this type of flower. I seen it in an old Al Stoneman book. I thought, ooh, I like that. But of course, back in those days, they did wider belts and they usually didn't sew them. So they went right up to the edge. So I had to freestyle, hand draw it myself by looking at it and everything so that I could get it to fit within this 1 inch space that I got going on here. Okay, now I can put that over here. And whoop, whoop, whoop. Hey, did you see that catch? And let's hope I can get all this drawn out without nothing moving. I think I'm gonna bring this a little bigger to touch that right there to break up my background spot. Like I said, my tooling style is different compared to what a lot of other people are doing. A lot of people are doing what they call a Sheridan, and I've never been one to want to try to be like everybody else. So I've reverted or went back through, you know, what I was doing 25 years ago, and I like it. It's what I call, or what a lot of people call, a Texas style floral tooling. Bigger, bolder, better, kind of like everything in Texas. Still keeping with the sine wave theory for flow. Oh, and I didn't draw my little freaking half moon circle right there, so I'm gonna put that right about there like that. So there's the first one. Before I pull it off, I want to double check, make sure I got everything. Looks like I did. So now, take that off, flip it, and tape it back in place. Might need to come down this way a little more. And I can fill them in later, you know, to reach that flower. But that's basically it. I can show you, I'm not gonna draw through all that again, but that's how you get your pattern for your belt done. Then you'll just keep flipping it back and forth to where you keep your, see how it's coming like this and then like that. And then the next one will be over here, keeping a sine wave. And I sure hope y'all can see all that. Yeah, you can. Good deal. Anyway, thanks for liking, subscribing, and all that good stuff here on the YouTube. And come check me out at davidmillssaddlery.com. Toodaloo, bugaroos.